Hello, hello, everybody. Let's see if I can do this. Hello. Happy, what day is it? Wednesday. Lost all track of time. Lost all track of time. Hear me okay? Yeah? Cool. Oh, we got some people rolling in a little bit after. Awesome. So, hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I'm gonna, hey, I'm going to just see if I can spotlight myself for everybody. And I'm going to, just so you know, we're recording so we can have a playback of this. Thank you for joining me in this little mobility series. Going to be about 30 minutes, not too long, 30 minutes long. And what we're going to do is we're going to, before we do anything else, this is solely for you so that you can see what's working, what's not. Where do we need some help? Where are we getting stuck? So before I just give you random exercises, we have to do a little bit of a test. So this is just for you, okay? I want you to set up your phone. Okay, have your phone. And I want us to go through 3 or 4 motions together, okay? And I'll tell you exactly how I want you to record yourself, because you have to know if this is working or not, and it's not just randomly, okay, here's some random mobility stuff. We have to talk about it. We have to try it. We have to test it. So first thing we're gonna do for your mobility drill, you're gonna record yourself doing a toe touch. Simple toe touch, just folding forward, finding the floor, hanging out as low as you can, hanging there for a second, and coming back up, okay? So take a second, set up your phone, and we're gonna do 5 reps together, okay? Just the same view as you see me, just from the side, okay? From the side, exactly like this. We're just gonna fold forward. Feet are gonna be about hip width apart, okay? About hip width apart, pointing forward, toes forward, and you're just gonna fold. You're gonna hang. You're gonna let your head, your arms be heavy, and then you're just gonna come back up. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that again. Forward fold, hang out. Do that again. Just see how that feels too while you're down here. Where do you feel this tension? Is it in the back of your legs? Is it in your low back? Is it mainly in your hip? Let's come back up. Let's do that. Give me a total of 5 times, okay? Come back down, hang out for a second, come back up. Let's do 5 of those, okay? Just 5. 5 reps. Good, good. Okay, number 2. Now you're gonna do the exact view as me. So we're gonna do a squat, but your feet, I'm gonna be particular about what I want. Your feet are gonna be, again, about shoulder width apart, okay? Not so wide, about shoulder or hip width apart, rather, right under your hips. And then your toes are gonna be facing forward. And we're just gonna do a squat from the back view, okay? Arms are just gonna go right here across your shoulders. And you're gonna just give me as low as you can go, coming back up, okay? Going as low as you can go in this squat, and then coming back up, okay? Let's do 5 of those. 5 of those. And see how you feel. See, things I want you to notice is your upper body pitching forward. Are you able to stay upright? Or do you have to shift your trunk forward as you do this? Yeah, nice. Looking good. So, number 3, while I have you standing, you're just gonna go arms up overhead, and then you're gonna do the reverse, a little back bend, How far back can you go? Feet about hip width apart too, toes facing forward. How far back can you bend? Coming back up, keeping your whole foot flat. And let's do this from a side view, okay? Let's do this from a side view. And just record yourself. This is just for you to take note of how your body's moving. I'm not gonna be too particular. You can unlock your knees, you can keep them locked, whatever you need to do to bend back as far as you can. Okay, nice. We got 2 more movements, okay? 2 more movements. Movement number 4. This is number 4. We're gonna go hands, feet, again, hip width apart, fairly narrow, hands by my side, by your side, and you're just going to slide your hands down your leg. How far can you go? Slide your your hands down your legs, how far you can go. And we'll do 5 each side, okay? The only thing I care about is how far can you reach. Doesn't matter to me what your body's doing. How far can you reach? And take note, how does this feel? Does it feel pinchy on one side? Does it feel stuck and limited on one side? Does one side feel more loose than the other side? Right? Good. Nice work. About 5 to each side. You're both doing awesome. Number 5, okay? Movement number 5. This one, we're gonna go from a side view again. So this is feet hip width apart, toes pointing forward. You know the drill by now, okay? I'm gonna do a forward fold. I'm gonna put my hands underneath my feet, and then I'm gonna sit down into a squat as low as I could go. For me, this is it. That's all I got. Then I'm gonna come back up and reset, okay? Sliding down, hands under your feet, and then I'm just going to sit down. How low can I sit? Come back up, all the way up, okay? Let's do 5 of those. How low can you get? Good job. Y'all are doing great. Everyone's going to have some different limitations here, okay? And I'll tell you how to look at all this stuff at the end of class. How to look at it. What are we looking for? Okay? Nice job. Now, as you do this, I want you to try to keep your knees from rolling out like this. So as you fold forward, I don't want you to get lower by shooting the knees out, okay? Try to keep them right in front of you. Don't let those knees shoot out. Keep them in line with your feet. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Good job. Good job. Okay. So let's talk about what we're going to do. We're going to start with some breath work. Okay, why do we do this first? Traditional mobility will just put us in a position and tell us to like hold. I like to go to the breath first because let's talk about the muscles. All our muscles in our body, most of them attached to somewhere in our rib cage or our hip or pelvis, right? With breath work, we get mobility. I think about it in the simplest terms, from the outside in. So if I can get my rib cage and my pelvis to move well and free up, then the muscles that are attached to those segments can start to loosen up too, okay? So our rib cage should, when I breathe in, it should open up like an umbrella inside of me, because that's the lungs inflating, right? Think about where your lungs sit. It's a 3D thing, right? It's a 3D structure. It's like a balloon. When you blow it up, my body has to make space for that. Typically, people will say, you breathe into your belly and that makes the space for your lungs. if we take a second to think about it, that doesn't really make too much sense because your lungs are up here. So how are they going to inflate if your stomach does all the work, right? This 3D everywhere, not just the chest. A lot of people will do this to make room. Yes. From the front, sides, back. That's what we want. Okay. So we use breath to get the rib cage to move, which helps our pelvis move. Okay. Which helps our pelvis move, which frees up range of motion in a lot of other areas. Yes, we have to go specific, especially as the further we get from here, foot, ankle, we have to do some more specific drills. But you'd be surprised how much we unlock in other areas simply by targeting what's close to our body. Okay, so this is the breath pattern we're going to work on. And you can practice with me. It's going to be a quiet, silent, smooth inhale through the nose. Okay, so not a like a vacuum cleaner sucking up all the air. It's really quiet, smooth. I almost think about air just flowing in. Okay, my mouth is closed, air flows in. I'm going to hold it for a second. Okay, I'm not forcing it. I'm going to stop when my body says stop. Okay, nothing we're doing today is going to be forcing. And then I'm going to open my mouth and let the air flow out. So not a like I'm trying to fog up a window, but I'm just letting the air flow out. And that's really important. Okay, not like I'm blowing up a balloon or blowing out birthday candles, or like I've been waiting in line too long at the ATM machine. Like I don't want you to forcefully expel that. So it's a nice flow, smooth in, pausing for a second, a long flow out. The first second of this exhale should be exactly like the last 5 seconds, right? A lot of people will do this. They'll do the inhale will be great, and then when they breathe out, it'll be a and then they'll soften it at the end. Keep it soft the whole way through. Okay? So it's a long, smooth inhale, a long, smooth exhale. And you want to keep exhaling until you feel your side abs, the sides of your abs kick in more than these six-pack abs, right? The ones that everyone does, crunches and all this stuff. Here, that's what we're targeting. Okay? So let's practice 2 of those breaths together. So we're going to do a nice smooth inhale through the nose. You're going to pause at the top of that breath, and then you're going to do a nice long exhale out through the mouth. Keep going until you feel the sides of your abs kick on. So keep it going, nice smooth flow. When you feel that, keep some tension there and breathe back in. Keep that tension you gained with the exhale. And you're going to feel it's a little bit harder to breathe in, and that's okay. That's okay. You're going to feel tightness in the chest, maybe in the back as well. Okay, that's all right. That's what we're working on. Okay, so we're going to do that breath in 3 different positions to start. Okay, position number 1. Let's move this chair out of the way. I'm going to go onto, it's the easiest one because I just get to relax. I don't have to do anything. I'm just going to go onto my hands and knees. I'm going to make sure my toes are not on the floor. Okay, so the tops of my feet are on the ground. I'm going to shift my hips back onto my feet, and then I'm going to come down to my elbows. That's it. This is the position. Okay, so I don't need you to push or anything like this through the arms. I'm really just hanging out, right? And we can even take this a step down for when you are having a particularly tight day. Say, I do this with people who have like back pain. This would be even a layer below that, okay? But today we're gonna go hands and knees, tops of the feet on the ground, shift your butt back, and let's come down to the elbows, okay? So we're gonna do 1 breath at a time here, okay? So total of 5. So let's start in this rock back. My hips are rock back, kind of like a child's pose. And I'm really just hanging out, relaxed. Shouldn't be no tension anywhere. I'm going to take a long breath in through my nose, nice and smooth and quiet. I keep that inhale going. Keep that inhale going. Pause for a second, open the mouth, let the air flow out all the way. Keep going until you feel your abs draw in, until you feel the lower ribs draw in. Keep that tension in your abs, pause a second, and breathe back in through your nose. Again, don't force it. It should be smooth, easy. Okay, we don't want to force anything. We don't want to exhale until we're fully gasping for air. Should be easy, light. Keep it light. Okay, we're not trying to force anything now. I want you to give me 5 breaths total. Okay, so that's slow inhale through the nose, smooth exhale through the mouth, and I'm going to do a few with you. Breathing in through the nose for me. I'm going to stop when my body says stop and not force it. I'm going to open my mouth, let the air flow out. Again, I'm going to stop when my body says stop and breathe back in, keeping the tension in my abs. Good. Let's just do this for 5 breaths total. Okay, you might feel some stretches in the back, upper back, mid back, low back. We all have tightness in different areas, right? Our bodies adapt to our daily life. So we all need something a little different. We all feel limitations in different places because we have different lives. Our bodies adapt to our life, and all our lives are different. Our days are different. Our in and outs are different. Our demands are different. So let's finish up this 5. Shake it out. I like the intention that everyone's going nice and slow, smooth. You're just going to sit up when you're done. We're going to do that. We're going to do 2 sets of that. Okay. So it's all at that bottom of the breath. If you're not used to it, your body might start freaking out. Like, oh, I don't have any air. I need to suck it back in. Part of this is also getting that our nervous system to relax and get all that tension out of there, right? So being able to hold your breath, control the breath is a sign of your nervous system being in a state of relaxation, okay? If you have a hard time holding your breath, we're stressed out all the time. We can't do it for very long. That's our nervous system saying, whoa, you need to chill. So let's do one more set, okay? Toes off the ground, top of the feet on the ground, push the butt back, drop down to the elbows. And I actually want to do one, and I want you to see, I'm going to do a few breaths, and I want you to see if you can see, I'll show you where my limitation is real quick, okay? When I do my forward fold, it's pretty apparent for me. You see my low back, my hips, there's a nice rounding through my low back all the way until my mid back. Right? My upper back flattens out. You can even see it here when I do this toe touch to squat. A lot of rounding, and then it stops in my mid back, and my upper back is like a board, right? So when I do this exercise, I want you to see if you can see my upper back inflate with my air. So I'm going to take a breath in. I'm going to do a long exhale, and this is key. Keeping my abs tight and breathing back in. I'm going to do one more. Even if you can't see that, you might be able to see my shirt stretch out, right? And just after 2 breaths, you're not going to get that much different. But let's see what happens after another set. So I want you to give me another set of 5. Okay? Staying in that same position. And I want you to note, for you, where do you feel the tension? You might not feel it. You might be focusing so much on just controlling your breath, and that's okay. For me, it's all in this upper back, between my shoulder blades. I've been lifting very heavy lately, so everything feels very tight. You're both doing great. Let's keep it going. Okay, control that breath. Smooth breath in. Long exhale. Smooth breath out. Nice work. Nice work. Keep it going. Keep it going. Good. Just 5. Take note of where that is for you. And for some people, these positions, you feel them more in one versus the other. Okay? So if you don't feel in this one, you might feel it in the next 2 positions. Good. When you're done, just sit up. And we're going to keep almost the exact same position, but a little bit more active. Okay, so now I'm going to stay in this hands and knees position here. So this time I do want your toes on the ground. I want your wrists right under your shoulders. And all I'm going to do is gently reach with my arm. So I'm pushing the floor away from me. So you see, I'm not doing this, where I'm curving my back like I'm doing this cat-cow spinal mobility thing. What I want is just a gentle reach. My spine stays fairly the same. And you can see it in my shirt. As I reach, you see my shoulder blades actually wrap around my body. And you see my shirt stretch without me rounding my spine like this, right? So I just gentle reach. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to do my breaths in this position. Okay. So a gentle reach with the arms. You're going to do your inhales, exhales here. So breathing in silently, smooth through the nose. A long, gentle exhale, letting the air flow out. Keeping that ab tension and breathing back in. And we're just going to do 5 like that. Smooth exhale, keeping the tension in your abs. Keeping the reach going the whole time. Okay. Keeping the reach going the whole time. As you exhale, I want you to check back in with your body on the exhale. Are you still keeping that reach? On the inhale, I just need you to keep those abs tight. You don't need to go 100%, just keeping the tension that you gained with the exhale. And I'm going to take a sip of water. Okay. Nice work. This might feel different than the last exercise. This one, I feel way more than the last one. A lot more in that mid back, upper back, base of my neck even. Good job, y'all. Keep it going. We're going to do 2 rounds of this. We have plenty of time. We're just going to do 1 more exercise after this. Okay? We're in no rush. Focus on the breath. Smooth inhales through the nose. Gentle reach through the arms. Exhale through the mouth. I'm going to do 1 with everybody. Good. When you're done, just sit your hips back onto your feet. We're going to shake that out. We're going to do one more set of 5. Okay, one more set of 5 in this position, and then we go to position number 3, which is the most challenging because it's going to take the most brain power to maintain. Okay, so when you're ready, back onto your hands and knees. It's just a gentle push. Okay, we don't need to be gripping the floor with our hands. We don't need our hands turning white from the pressure. It's just a gentle reach with the arms. Okay, and I'm not trying to push the floor away as hard as I can, just a gentle reach. And when you're ready, let's start your 5 breaths. So in through the nose, nice and smooth, letting the air flow in. And then out through the mouth, letting the air flow out. I'm letting the deflating of my lungs be that's what leads the movement on the exhale, not a forceful contraction of my abs. Okay, I'm just letting the air out. Think of it just like opening the mouth part of the balloon. Air comes out rather than you squeezing, right? So that's what I want you to think of your exhale. Just doing 5 breaths. When you're done, just sit your hips back. Nice work. Okay, exercise position number 3. I'm going to lay on my back. Flip in the position now, okay? So things I want you to note. My feet are going to be glued to the floor the whole time. So let me adjust real quick, okay? So I want my toes always on the floor. No rolling off to the side, anything like this. No, you don't need to grip too hard either, okay? My feet are just a comfortable distance away from my hips. And in this position, I just want us to find a gentle tuck, okay? So I'm going to arch my back. I'm going to flatten my back. And I want you to try to do that while you keep your abs relatively soft, okay? So I don't need you to go crunch as far as you can where you're using all that tension in the front of your stomach. I want you just to gently rock back and forth, trying to keep your abs nice and quiet. So that tilt back shouldn't be so far where you lift your whole low back into the air. It should just be a little bit so that wherever your back pockets lie, that can lift up, but your waistband stays flat, okay? So it's just a gentle rocking back and forth of the pelvis, okay? That's what we're just gonna do that right now. So that's all I want you to do for now, before we add the breath back in, okay? Trying to keep the feet pointed forward. Keep them on the floor the whole time. Just a gentle rocking forward and back of your hips. Trying not to use your abs, okay? Keeping your stomach soft. That's all I want you to think about. Keep the stomach soft while you tilt your hips up, tilt your hips back, okay? And that's all we're trying to do here. A gentle rock. Keeping the waistband of your pants on the floor as you tilt back, okay? But the back pockets can lift. That's all I want you to do. We'll do this for another 10 seconds or so. Okay, and then we'll get into what I want to see with the feet, or what I want you to feel. Okay? Good. You can come back up and come to your screen because I'm going to talk about what I want actively. Just like I had you reaching with your hands, this time I'm going to ask something of your feet. Okay, so I'm actually just going to stay in that same position. Now, imagine your hamstrings, the muscles back here. The muscles back here are a string from your knee all the way to your hip. Okay, how are we going? We're going to imagine that it's this muscle that tilts the hip back and not a crunch of the abs. Okay, so how am I going to do that? I'm going to press my heels. I'm going to keep contact with my whole foot and keep press through my heels gently down into the floor. So that's step one, heels down. Step two is I'm going to pull my heels back towards my butt. Okay, so I don't want to be too crunched in. So down is step one, and then gentle pull of my heels to my butt without my body moving. And here I feel the back of my legs, a lot of tension back there. And I'm going to imagine that I'm using that tension in the string, literally the hamstring, to roll my hips back and my back pockets up off the floor. That's the only action I want. And then your breathing is here. Soft belly, same sort of breath in through the nose. And a long exhale. Same inhale. Okay, that's all I want. So now the tension is here on the back of my legs, not here in the belly. I do want the sides of the stomach. I still want to target this, but not here, not this sit-up muscles that most people like to work on. Okay, here, sides of the abs. So let's find that tension first. Your feet might need to be a little further away from your butt. Okay, good. And now just find weight through the whole foot contact. And then press your heels gently down into the floor just to feel that pressure. It doesn't have to be maximal at all. And then pull them slightly back towards your butt. That's the intention. Your body's not actually going to move. Feel the back of your legs, the back of the thighs working. And then use that tension. That's what's going to tilt your hips up under you. Okay, keep your hands on your belly. Nice jelly belly, like the jelly beans, right? Not my favorite gummy. Haribo gummy is still better than the other ones. Okay, keep your low back still on the floor. I still want low back on the floor. Just a gentle tuck of the hips, right? The low back doesn't lift. It's just a gentle roll of the hips so that your lower butt is off the floor. That's it. That's it. The lower butt, maybe the middle butt, but the waistband of your pants stays glued to the ground. Okay? This is harder for some people than others. Okay? Then I just want you to breathe in this position. Give me 5 breaths in this position. Check in with your body on the exhale. On the inhale, just focus on keeping the abs tight. On the exhale, check back in. Do you still feel that tension in the hamstrings? Do you still feel the weight in the heels? Is your butt in the position you want it to be in? Is it off the ground? Is your low back on the floor? That's why we do this one as number 3. It takes the most checking in. Okay, it takes the most checking in. Nice work. Nice work. Good. Keeping that inhale. Keeping that position of your legs, of your hips. Nice work. Just 5. When you're done with your 5, you can shake it out. And then we're going to just do one more round. Okay, you can let the legs loose. You can let them fall. Ooh, that's a tough position. It takes the most thinking. It's a lot of thinking, yeah? And not mindless here. Let's try one more round of this, okay? Bending the knees, finding those heel contacts. Okay, finding the contact with the heel. Good. Pushing the heels down and then back gently. And then using that tension to roll your pelvis back, roll the hips back. Let's think about it like peeling a sticker off of your laptop, right? Peeling a sticker off of something. That's how it should lift. That's how the hip should lift. Keeping a nice, soft belly, keeping the abs nice and soft. And now focus on your breathing here. Let's do 5 breaths. Keeping that tension in the abs as you breathe in. Nice. You're going to feel your chest expand here. That's good. You might feel this in the low back. That's okay also. Sometimes after I've trained really hard, I actually feel this like in the groin area. Because we're not letting the stomach expand, things have to shift in our bodies to allow our lungs to inflate. Nice, Ilya. That's good. Angel, I know that's a hard position, especially because when we work together, I know those hips. I remember. Those hips, that low back thing. Yeah. Good job. When you're done, I want you to sit up and we're going to do one active exercise. Okay, one active. Okay, here it is. I'm just going to go onto my knees. Okay, and I have my shirt tucked in for a reason. So we did a lot of rib cage and hip stuff just now. And this is what I want to see. Okay, we're just going to learn how to hinge our hips properly. And you'd be surprised how much mobility you get by doing this. So you can see my shirt tucked in. When a lot of people do this, I tell them to hinge. They'll do something like this, where their hips shift all the way forward, right? And they use their low back to get this movement. How we're going to fight that is I'm going to put my hands on my hips and just gently reach my rib cage back. So I'm not crunching in the front of my shoulder. I'm not pulling my shoulders together. I'm not using the tension in my chest. I'm just shifting my rib cage back. And you can see that in my shirt. My shirt gets tight in the back of my body and it gets loose here in the front, right? So you can see as I shift back, my shirt gets tight and it's loose in the front. Versus this, where it's the opposite, right? Imagine this is a representation of where your body's finding tension. So a slight shift of my rib cage back, and then I'm just going to sit my hips on my heels and then come up nice and tall, okay? It's like I'm trying to really push my hips forward as far as they can while keeping this shift of my rib cage, okay? Keeping the shift of my rib cage back. I'm trying to drive my hips forward without losing this position, okay? Without losing this position, just a slight shift of this whole rib cage. I'm really trying to do this, but my upper body's not letting me do that. Okay, my rib cage is not letting me do this. So I'm really trying to push forward, but while keeping this position here. So I'm starting by shifting back. That's number one. As you shift, keep that shift and just move your hips up and down. Okay? Give it a try. Let's do 10 repetitions. While you're fully up on your knees, you should really be trying to drive the front of your hip way towards the other side of the room while you keep that shift happening, right? Imagine that your shirt is wet. You ever get really sweaty or you spill something on yourself and the shirt is wet and you kind of go, ugh, like you kind of get away from it. You want to get away from it. That's exactly the motion. Just this, this little pull back of the ribs, okay? Good, that's all I want you to do. Let's do 10 repetitions here. And as you're there at the top, really try to shift those hips forward. And I mean really try, while you keep that rib cage shift. Good job. You really feel this. If you're tight in the front of the hips, you'll feel this a lot. Okay, you'll feel your glutes squeeze a lot. Nice work, both of you. Looks good. Looks good. Let's do 5 more reps together. Okay, 5 more together. Learning how to hinge those hips. Good job. 5 more. When you're done, stand up. When you're done, stand up. You're going to stand up, and then you're going to grab your cell phone and record yourself in these same exact, it's a post test. Record yourself, and then we get to compare. Okay? So while you are setting it up, I'll tell you what I'm looking for and what you can be looking for in these positions. Okay? So in the toe touch, this is what I'm looking for. I mentioned it already, but where is the rounding happening in my body? Where is that happening? Right? And I'm tucking my shirt in on purpose so you can exactly see for me where it is. Low back, a lot of movement. Mid back, a lot of movement. Upper back, nada. Right? This is why I always feel like I have to crack my back. I always have to do these things. So record yourself. See how that feels now. See how this toe touch feels. Okay? Give yourself 5 reps. You might actually have gone further now. You can actually touch the floor. Let your head go, right? Really let your head go. There you go. Are you able to actually sit in those hips now? Are the hips coming back into space? For those really flexible people, sometimes they have really flexible hamstrings and their hips don't move at all. Right? The hips just stay locked. Now, actually, can you move? Can they move back in space as I come down? Nice job. Ilya, that's better. Nice. When you're done, let's turn around and you're going to do your squat. You're going to do your squat from the back. You're going to do 5. Feet hip width apart, toes facing forward, and you're just going to give me 5. Good. Ilya, that's also lower. Yeah, Angel, you're a lot more upright here. Not having to shift forward quite as much, which is awesome. Good. When you're done, I'll talk about what I look for and what you can look for. As I squat down, do I have to pitch forward to achieve that? For me, yes, I do. But this is also, for me, a lot better than it was when we started. Does this happen? Does it shift to one side? Does it shift to one side on the way up? Right? Those are things to look for in your before and after. Okay? Now let's go into your squat toe touch. Let's see. For me, I showed you mine already. I did a few reps. I don't know if it's any better. Am I able to sit lower? I think a little bit lower. I couldn't even get to parallel before, and now I'm like almost there. So I'm getting a little bit more rounding my spine. So that's what I want you to see. Can you get lower? Oh, Ilya, yeah, man, that's it. Look at that. That's really good. Angel, I saw that face. What was that face?
My phone stopped working.
Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it. This is something you can do for yourself. That's all right. Something you can do for yourself later when it is working, or just record yourself on your laptop. Yeah. It is all the way down now, man. That look on your face says everything. Huh. Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. Really good. Really good. Cool. Really awesome. What else we do? We did our side bend, right? Can you go a little deeper? Does it feel less sticky? Right? This is something just you can compare for yourself. Something to look for in your before after. Do you rotate to get it? Does this happen? Right? Do your hips actually move? Or are they glued together and you can't shift at all? Right? Do they actually move now? Can they shift side to side? Right? And for some people that is very difficult to do. They're like locked. The hips can't even shift one way or the other. And then we have our last test, our backward back bend. Okay, you should see how this feels. You can compare to your last one, to before we did anything. Back bend. How far back can you go? Can those hips shift forward? Can you arch in the back, right? Let your whole body move. Doesn't have to be just from one part. Yeah. Angel, those hips are moving now. It was like just your back the first time. It was all here. Look at that. Shifting forward. That's so good. Awesome. Awesome. Let's talk about that. Why does that stuff work? I mean, I talked about it a little bit at the beginning, but to be a little nerdy and to be kind of reductionist at the same time. Over time, with posture and things like this, our movement habits, we lose the ability to move here. Not that we lose, but our body's all about efficiency, right? Again, it falls into our patterns. And rather than saying, well, let me just change my pattern, that's not realistic. That's not really what's going to happen. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm not going to start reaching with things with my left hand because I'm right-handed. No, I'm always going to have things. I'm always going to cross my arms one way. And it's a simplistic narrative to say, okay, well, now just start doing this. But this just feels so weird. Like, I don't like this at all. Like, I'm not going to even myself out by, well, let me count 50 reaches and then let me count 50 reaches and now I'm even. No, we just got to restore movement to where we can. Give your body what it needs, fill in the gaps. That's all we're doing. Like literally fill in the gaps with your breath. And for me, I fall into this category of like really compressed because I have a background of lifting heavy weight, right? And so to do that, my body has to bear down all the time, tighten this. So you can see in my body, I'm very flat in the upper back. Even just doing this, where's all my rounding coming from? It's this middle back sort of thing, right? Some people don't fold it all here, and those are there's a category of people who are really good endurance runners, and this is not like everybody, but I see this in people who are really tall. They run long distances. Their low back doesn't bend at all. It's like all from the upper and mid back, right? It's just super flat here, right? And then some people, the whole back doesn't move. They're just super flexible from the waist down, and the whole back is just like this, right? So there's different things you see, but if we work on the entire thing, and you can definitely go into the weeds with this stuff where some people need a little more this, but we start here and we say, okay, can we just restore all this stuff, get the whole thing to move, right? Some people are super compressed in the front and they can't expand this way at all. It's just what you see a lot of this, right? Nothing here, just always belly breathing, always breathing like this. And then they wonder why they have neck pain all the time. Because we're not getting this expansion compression. And so when the lungs can move well, why does it affect the hips? Because all these other internal organs have to shift down here to make space for this, right? Lungs sit here, diaphragm is here. For my lungs to expand, this has to come down, and that pushes, this is a simplistic say, pushes everything down. You have two diaphragms. So the whole thing shifts, which helps expand this down here too, in the same way, right? That's the simplest way to put why it works. And then all the muscles that are attached to all this stuff can actually lengthen and shorten as they should, right? This stuff takes a little bit of time and getting used to. You might feel small changes. You might feel really big changes. You might feel like, oh, this position's awkward for me. But this is what I would do. This is like a nice reset. And that hip hinge thing to work on, everybody could work on that. That little piece, right? People will either hinge with the back or they can't actually get their hips to move forward. And it's just all the back. Yeah, y'all did so good. Really good. Just few simple things that not a lot of people will do and will rather go into here because this seems like this is where we need to go. And we can go there, but we got to go layer 1 and then layer 2, layer 3, layer 4. Yeah? I like this list. I think I want to do this again, maybe like once a month or something like this. But just keep these classes going. This is cool. Thank you for joining me. You're like alpha class. What is this funny? How do you do that? I don't know. And I'm so like, is it the reaction? Oh, it is the reaction. Yay, reaction. Thank you both. I want you to, I have a short survey. I will just email the both of you. Just want to get some feedback. And if you're comfortable, share those videos with me. I want to see. I got to see through here, but I want to see your before, after, before 30 minutes, after 30 minutes. And just, let's see. I want to see the difference. Yeah. Thank you both. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks,
And
Migs. Thanks a lot.
thank you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.